Okay, so in this entry, in this new diary style WIP and chat, today is Tuesday. So I'm going to talk about how yesterday was, which was Monday. Monday is my most dreaded day of the entire week, simply because it's the most busiest day at work. And I work for a telecommunications company. I work from home taking inbound customer service calls, and for whatever reason, everyone seems to want to call about their bill on Mondays. Monday is like the bill day, and I'm talking like I have to work at 8 in the morning, and we're back-to-back calls. Like there's no time in between calls, and every single one of them are about billing questions. Like, do some people just wake up in the morning and think, oh, today's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna call and talk to this company about my bill. Like, come on, people. It's Monday, sleep in. You ain't got nothing better to do? God. And it's always silly questions like, I want to know why my bill went up 3 cents. Like, for real? You're gonna call me at 8 in the morning to ask me why your bill went up 3 cents. You need me to find you a hobby? Show you how to diamond paint? That's crazy. So it was a very, very long day at work, to say the least. Trying to see if I have any more of this symbol, and I'm not seeing any. I am still working on this Victoria's moon. I'm really starting to think it's never going to get done, y'all. I really do. It's just, again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad canvas. The drills are perfect quality. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I just usually choose diamond paintings that have way more color, I guess. And there's just a lot of grays and browns, but I only have this middle part to do. So, after my crazy busy day at work, oh, and here, before I move on, let me just tell you how hard it is sometimes to work from home. My office is in my bedroom. So, you know, after a weekend filled with shenanigans, and then having to work and take all these back-to-back inbound calls, and have to stare at your bed the whole time, it's not easy. Like, I hear my bed talking to me. Come to me. Come lay in me. Look at all these comfortable pillows. You know you want to. Like, all day long, which makes me even more tired, because it's right. I do want to come lay in that bed. I sure do. Anyway, the struggle is real. I need to switch pens. But, you know, of course, at least I don't have to get out when it snows and all that jazz. Whatever. I miss getting out. I won't get into that. So, after my crazy busy day, every day, like weekday, my kids get home. Like, first it's the two boys, Maddox and Zach. Maddox is 13, Zach is 8. They ride the bus to school, and they get home at around 3:45 Central Time, of course, and I usually have to work until 6. So yesterday when they got home, Zach wanted to just go straight to his little fort that he built over the weekend. We have a baby grand piano, which is just a smaller version of one of those giant, you know, Bahama Mama grand pianos. And he made a fort, as in he took a big old blanket and threw it over the piano and put some pillows and blankets on the inside. Whatever. Sparked his creativity. I'm good. So he made this fort. And so he gets home from school, and the first thing he does is go in this fort. He grabs his little laptop thingy and watches some YouTube. He's one of those kids that like watching people play games. He just likes watching people play the games. Doesn't really care about playing them. I don't get it. But whatever. He goes straight to this fort. Sorry. And again, I'm cool with it. I still have a couple more hours of work. That's where he wants to be, fine. So then Kerwin usually gets home with Nora around, right around 6:30, 7-ish. And when Nora gets home, Zach just turns into like a major butt. And I said Zach made this fort over the weekend, but really him and Nora both kind of did. And when Nora got home, Zach was just being a butthole. He immediately said to Nora, "You can't come in my fort. It's mine. It's got all my stuff in it." Blah, blah, blah. Them petty kids, you know, it's just stupid. And I told Zach, I was like, you can't kick her out of the fort. The fort is literally in the family room. Like, you can't tell her she can't come in the family room. He's like, no, but this is my fort. This is my hangout spot. Dude, once you start paying the bills in this house, then you can create domains. My room is my domain. That's because I pay the bills. You don't get a domain. So Zach was not happy about that. Not at all. So what does he do? Little 8-year-old attitude fool. He grabs all of his stuff out of this stupid fort. Hold on a second. He grabs all of his stuff out of the stupid fort and takes it back into his room. Okay, Nora wasn't complaining. She was like, all right, fine, bye. See ya. Bye, Felicia. So Nora goes in the fort. She gets all her little coloring things and her little books and her Barbies, whatever. And Maddox, like I said, is 13, and he goes to school. He gets home the same time Zach does. And the whole time Zach was in this fort before Nora got home, Maddox goes straight to his room, takes a nap, does whatever teenage boys do. I don't really want to know, don't care, whatever. Don't wreck my house, don't eat all my food. I don't care what you do. You'll be all right. So he stays in his room the entire time before, you know, when they get home, before Nora gets home with Kerwin. But the moment he hears Zach being all upset about this stupid fort, here comes Maddox. He's got to get involved, you know? He's got to be a part of the drama. So here he comes, and he's being all goody-goody with Nora, like, come on, Nora, let's go play in this awesome fort. You know, trying to rub it in Zach's face that, you know, they're taking over the fort. It's petty. It's so stupid. And they didn't really say Zach couldn't come in the fort. They're just, he just had nothing to do with the stupid fort until Zach was upset about the stupid fort. And then he needed to be involved. And I'm sure that's just sibling bologna and cheese. It is just so annoying. Like, these kids' needs to argue and like tattle. It's like they enjoy seeing each other get in trouble. Why is that? Why do kids enjoy seeing their siblings get in trouble? I will never understand that. Like when I was a kid, me and my brother Bobby, we always had each other's backs, man. We had the occasional tiff, but if someone done broke a glass or something, and we wouldn't rat each other out, we'd help each other clean it up. We didn't want each other to get in trouble. But I swear, these kids in this house right now, they love it when when another kid is in trouble. They eat it up. And just like Maddox will be in his room for hours. I wouldn't see him all day until someone starts yelling at Nora or Zach. Then here he comes. I'm just going to plop on the couch. I'm going to grab my popcorn. I'm going to watch the show. Like, you enjoy that, man. But I don't like it when they try to hurt each other's feelings. Like, I really feel like they were trying to hurt Zach's feelings, like, haha, we took over the fort, you got in trouble. But I'm very proud of Zach because he did a bigger thing. He went into his room and he pouted, you know, whatever, I just gave him a space. And then he came out with like a lamp and these cool things and said, hey guys, do you want to upgrade the fort? You know, just being all cute like and wanting to decorate it with these lamps or whatever. And at first they were like, no, you can't come in the fort. And of course I done jumped in there real quick. I was like, nuh-uh. the whole reason he was pouting is because I told him he couldn't kick your butts out of the fort, so you guys can go somewhere else. Like, it's nobody's fort. You want a dang fort to yourself, you go in your room and you make a fort out of your bed or something. I don't care. But nobody gets the dang living room. Ridiculous. So then after that, they played in the fort for hours. But of course, once Maddox saw, like, no one's fighting anymore, everything's good, he went back to his room. Whatever. So then, after all that, those shenanigans with the dang fort, it was, I don't know, like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, I don't know, it was after dinner. Kerwin and I had to go to Dollar General real quick to get some thank you cards for some things we had to ship out. So we asked Maddox, hey, can you watch Nora for us? We're just gonna be gone for like 5-10 minutes. And he's 13, he can babysit a 4-year-old, it's not a big deal. He said, okay. So we went to Dollar General, and while we were at Dollar General, and I kid you not, this is like less than 10 minutes later, Maddox calls Kerwin and says, Nora pooped her pants. And I'm like, what? Nuh-uh. She hasn't pooped her pants in over a year. So of course I think, nah, she just farted or something. She didn't poop. That's crazy, I just thought he was being dramatic, and she probably let one rip that stunk. So we just kind of brushed it off. We're like, okay, we'll be home soon. And so we got what we needed from Dollar General, and we went home. And Maddox says, watch your step in that family room. There's poop everywhere. And again, I think he's just, being dramatic, teenager, whatever. But I go in that family room, and I kid you not, there are 3 little piles of poop. And I'm like, what the? I was pissed. I don't want to clean up no dang poop. And Nora's nowhere to be found. This is right by the stupid fort. Nora's nowhere to be found. And this isn't like one pile of poop. No, she had her pants down with poop in it and little pieces of poop all around it. It's nasty. Nora's nowhere to be found. I say, Maddox, where's Nora? Oh, she ran to her room as soon as she heard you guys were home. I'm like, oh, hell no. And I yell, I said, Nora, get your butt out here. And she comes all cowering down like she gets beat. Like she never had a spanking in her whole life. Why she cowers down like she gets beat all the time, I don't know. She doesn't though. But she acts like she's about to get a whooping and stuff, and again, never spanked the kid ever. She comes off cowering out, I'm sorry. And I ask her, Nora, why in the actual hell would you poop on the floor? The bathroom's right over there. 10 more steps, you're at the bathroom. She says, I was just busy playing. Are you kidding me? You were busy playing, so you pooped your pants? And you know what? I might believe it for just a second. Maybe she was too busy playing and she had like the runs or something. Hell, that's happened to me before. No. If this kid pooped in her pants because she was busy playing or couldn't make it to the bathroom, the poop would only be in her pants. Right? No, she had a poop trail going on. A pile here, pile over here, and some in her pants. Pants were somewhere else. But they weren't even in the direction of the bathroom. She was being lazy. What she should have said is, I was busy playing and I didn't want to take time out of playing to go use the bathroom. Oh, I was so mad. But then she was very, very remorseful. She went to the bathroom. I told her to clean up her own poop. Yes, I made her clean up her own poop. Don't judge me. She's 4 years old. She could pick up her own poop. She picked it up, she put it in the bathroom, went to the bathroom, cleaned herself up, and I made her scrub the floor to make sure all the poop was off of it, because that's nasty, guys. That's nasty. And she did. And then we just had a long talk. She's going to be going to her brand new school. She's going to be in kindergarten, and she gets to go tour her school on Thursday. So we had a big talk about how she's getting older, how she's going to be going to like a really big girls' school, And so she was remorseful. you know, and that's all we ever do, you know. She's a good kid. She's a pain in the butt. She gets into everything. However, she's a good kid. You know, she does 4-year-old annoying things. She makes messes. She whines about stuff she can't have. You know, that's to be expected. It's annoying, but like, it's just to be expected with any 4-year-old. So we had a long talk and she was remorseful. So then it was time for everyone to go to bed. We tucked everyone in. Then Kerwin and I stayed up until about 3 in the morning, finishing up a couple orders and getting them ready to ship. Woke up at 6 a.m. to get the boys on the bus. And that's another thing. Why do the kids got to get up at 6 a.m.? The bus comes to our house at 6:15 in the morning. Like, come on. They're the first one on that bus. I'm about to move. Anyway, but that's how our night went last night. This morning was pretty smooth. It is what it is. But that was the first entry to this little diary whipping chat dealio I'm trying. So, I will be back on here tomorrow to let you know how the rest of today goes. See ya. Hey guys. So, last night after I finished recording, you know, Monday's entry or whatever, I couldn't wait to tell you that, or about the cutest thing, one of the cutest things that Nora did. Nora has been into telling stories. Story time! And it's like right before she goes to bed, she says, "Mom, can we tell stories?" I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I'll just make up, you know, a random story about a little girl or something. I don't know. Usually a little girl and a cat involved. Just a random story. But now, recently, she's been wanting to make up a story too. And it's just the cutest thing ever. We did manage to record a little bit of her story from Monday night. I think it was Monday night, yeah. So I'm gonna put that little clip at the end of this video. So make sure you watch it to the end because it's like cuteness overload. So cute. So today is Wednesday. Let's see. So yesterday, Tuesday, was kind of crazy. After I got off work, Maddox and Kerwin were arguing about something. I don't know. I think Maddox is still upset about what happened this weekend, but it was really scary, y'all. Like, so Maddox doesn't really, you know, go outside of school to hang out with friends too often, you know? We know he has friends, you know, we see him, you know, hanging out at school functions. He talks to them on the phone. Like, we know he has friends. He just has never really asked if he could go hang out with them outside of school. And, well, I think he did once, but then Kerwin, you know, told him, I need to know who you're with. I need to know what parents are going to be there, what you guys are going to be doing, if you're riding around with anybody, who you're riding around with, you know, the works. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So, you know, Maddox doesn't really like that much. So he just said, fine, I won't go. And we're like, okay, don't go then. Well, this weekend, he was like, hey, some of my friends are going to go to the movies. You know, can I go? And we were like, okay, but if you need money to go to the movies, then you need to clean your room. Which it has been absolute hell to get that kid to clean his room. Whoo! But he wanted to go to the movies, so he did. he cleaned up his room, I should say. It wasn't like perfect. He actually made an effort though. Sorry, the camera's shaking here. It's on my monitor. I'm hooked onto my desk. So he cleaned up his room. So we're like, okay, we need to know who's going to be there, how you're getting there, so on and so forth. So Maddox told us that him and his friends were going to go to the movies in Jefferson City, which is just a town like 30 minutes away or so. So we drive all the way to Jefferson City. They're supposed to be seeing a movie at the mall. We get there and we drop him off at the mall and he like begs us, don't come inside, just don't. But we're like really wigged out. Like, what's the big deal about us coming inside? Like, I don't know. But he convinced Kerwin to just drop him off. And Maddox is my stepson, so I try not to like, you know, overstep too much. So it's just like, okay. So we drop him off at the mall, you know, because he's supposed to be meeting his friends to go see a movie. And it wasn't but 5-6 minutes later, he calls us and he says, hey, can you guys come pick me up? And we're like, well, what the hell? We just dropped you off. What are you talking about? And he's like, I'm in the wrong town. I'm like, boy, for real? But we weren't like quite out of Jefferson City at this point anyway. It wasn't that long. So we turn around and we pick him up and he says, my friends are in Columbia, which is about another 45-minute drive in the opposite direction. So we're like, fine. He doesn't really ask to do much. He did clean his room. So we're like, okay, cool. We drive him all the way to Columbia. And then we ask him, where are we going to drop you off? And he said, all my friends are at a hotel. And, you know, of course we were like, why are they at a hotel when the town that we live in is like 45 minutes away? What's the purpose of being in a hotel? We thought that was really weird. And he said they just got a room so they can, you know, go swimming in the indoor pool. Like, okay, I guess that's a thing that kids do, or ones that have money, I guess. So, okay. So we take him to this hotel. But this time, Kerwin walked in with him and he went to at least the hotel lobby, okay? And when he saw Maddox's friends that, you know, looked familiar, walk down and come meet him, then we're like, okay, cool. So, and we told Maddox, you know, let us know when the movie is, let us know when it's out or how long it's going to be and where you'll need to be picked up. You know, keep us informed about what you're doing and what will need to happen. Not a big deal. So we left and he went swimming. Everything was cool. But then, you know, me, Kerwin, and the other two kids, we go home, we do cleaning and stuff. We look at the time and notice it's like 11 o'clock at night. And we're like, what the heck could that kid possibly be doing? And he did tell us the movie was going to be around 8, 9 o'clock. You know, so, and we dropped him off at like 6 because he wanted to swim and stuff at the hotel. But then like 11 o'clock rolls around and we still haven't heard from him. So at this point, we're getting really wigged out. And, you know, we just assumed maybe they went to see a later showing. So we looked up all the movie times. And the latest possible showing, like when they would get out, was midnight. So like, okay, we'll give it till midnight and see if he calls us. And at this time, we're blowing up his phone, man. Like, and it was going straight to voicemail. So we're just, I don't know, really freaking out. So then like 12:30 rolls around. Still nothing. Like at this point, we're like, should we call the police? Like, what should we do? We haven't heard from our kid. Like, we're scared, you know? And like me, I'm pissed. Like, we were very clear, you know, that all you have to do is let us know. If the movie was at 8, you should be done by 11, easily. Nothing. So we were really mad. It wasn't until like 12:30, 12:45, almost 1 in the morning when he finally called. and says, sorry, we went to a later showing. And like, we were so worried that like, when we heard from him, we're just like relieved that he was okay, you know? So we went to go pick him up, but you know, he got a talking to, which is, you know, to be expected. If you're going to go out again, we need to know the details. You need to understand where you're going, who you're going to be with, how you're getting where, and how you're getting home. And he said that his phone died and that's why he didn't call us. Which to me makes me angry because again, we were very clear. Keep in touch. And you can't tell me all those kids at the hotel that he was swimming with didn't have a phone charger. Like, I don't know. It is irresponsible. And I also feel like, you know, if his phone was dead, nobody could loan him a phone. But then he'll just say, I didn't have your numbers memorized. It is what it is. Like, you know, long story short, he got a good talking to because we were worried, you know? So I think that that's why him and Kerwin keep just butting heads, you know? Which I don't see why it's a big deal. Like, we're not saying don't ever go hang out with your friends again. Like, absolutely not. Just like when you do, make sure your phone's charged, keep us updated so we don't get worried again, you know? But of course, to a teenager, that's probably a big ordeal. But it did help him understand why, you know, we want to know who's involved and the parents, because like if we had known who the parents were and things like that, we could have easily contacted them and found out that they went to see a later showing. But of course, when you're a parent, which I'm sure, you know, most of you who are parents know this feeling, when you're worried about your kids, you think of the worst possible situation as to why, you know, you haven't heard from them or whatever. So of course our heads were like, oh my gosh, their parents are weirdos. They kidnapped him. They took him and went off to Mexico. I don't know why I said Mexico, but you know, still you just think of the worst possible thing and it sucks. So he didn't like get in trouble. He didn't get grounded or anything, but he got a talking to because he can't put us through that again. Teenagers are hard, guys. You know, Nora's irritating and stuff, but whew. Teenagers are a different ball game. I'll move you over a little bit. So now it just feels like they're butting heads constantly. And I'm just staying over here diamond painting. I don't want involved in that jazz. Because it's different when you have a stepkid, you know, like authority-wise. It's just not, it just doesn't seem like it's the same as, you know, your dad or your mom. I've noticed anyway, but again, I came into his life when he's 13, so, well, he was actually, I think he was 11 or 12, but still. So, you know, that happened, but I'm sure that will wind down eventually. What else happened? Oh, and I paid my retreat deposit. Sorry, I kind of wrote down interesting things that I wanted to tell you guys as they happened so I wouldn't forget anything, which I tend to do during WIP and chats. Or like after I record them, I like, oh, I forgot to say this. Or I should have said this. I don't know. But I did pay my retreat deposit. Eek! So it's official. I will be on the DP retreat in October to Texas. Woohoo! If you don't know about the DP retreat, check out Marissa's channel. She is organizing the whole thing, and her YouTube channel name is The Crafty Heifer. And I believe in her video descriptions, she has like the retreat registration and things like that. I'm not really sure if there's any spots left or anything, but the deposit to go on the trip is $50. I don't remember the total, but if you find that form, it will have all the information on there. But I am super duper stoked about that. I'm trying to figure out if it would be more cost effective to drive. But I mean, we don't have brand new cars. We have like Like my SUV is a 2006. So I'm really worried about making that drive in one of our vehicles. So we're debating on whether it would be, you know, more cost effective to fly or to rent a car and drive. Personally, I would prefer to drive just because I can take as many things as I want. And plus, people who are flying, if I had a car, I could also help them get from the airport to the retreat. And I like to help. So we're debating on that. I'm definitely going though. Kerwin kind of wanted to go too, but I told him that that would probably be weird, you know. I don't know. He wants to go though. I feel bad. I've never been, well, I mean, I went away for a week for training for work, but I've never been away to do something like this for so long. So I kind of feel bad for leaving him home with all the kids. Because they crazy, y'all. They crazy. But mama's gotta, you know, mama needs some mama time. It is how it is. Like, I can't even imagine a whole week surrounded by cool chicks and dudes, if dudes are coming, I don't know, cool people that like to craft. Like, holy crap. That just sounds like a perfect oasis for me. It sounds amazing. And then not having to worry about boogers and pooping on the floor, bull crap, I don't know. But poor Kerwin, he does. So I feel bad, but I'm trying not to think that like that. I'm trying to think like I deserve this, you know? I want this. I want to go so bad. I've talked to all these people, most people coming, I've talked to them a bazillion times, you know, about YouTube or, you know, diamond painting, just about things in the community. So hanging out with them in person, oh my gosh, sounds like so much fun. And of course, I'm going to be recording a lot of stuff while I'm there. I believe a few of us are going to go live too. But I think I'm going to be leading a polymer clay class there too. I know quite a few people said that they're going to bring their clay. So that's going to be fun. I love, love, love playing with polymer clay. So doing it with other people, like in person, that sounds awesome. Super stoked about that. Like, I wish October would get here sooner. And I already requested off work, so PTO is good to go too. I think we just have to iron out the best way for me to get there. What's going to be more cost effective. And like another thing about flying is then I have to, you know, worry about who's going to take me to the airport when it's time to come home, who's going to pick me up. And I don't like putting people out, you know, like, I don't know. I don't want to have to ask somebody to come pick me up. And I know Marissa said like, you know, we will get someone to come pick you up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure there are people willing to. I'm not saying like nobody will, but I just hate to ask, you know? I hate to ask for things. I like to do things for people, but asking for things is just, you know, I feel like they would say yes because they're nice and I don't want to put them out. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this world that feels like that. But either way, it's going to happen one way or another. We paid the deposit and we should be getting our tax return soon. And so we're just going to pay the remaining amount with that. But put in the comments below if you're coming. I want to know. I think she said like 20 people are coming. There is a Facebook group, so I guess I could just look there, but I don't know if everyone in that Facebook group or, you know, who are in that Facebook group are actually going or not. So if you're watching this and you're coming, tell me in the comments. I think it's going to be awesome. And Marissa put in a lot of work, y'all. She really did, organizing all these things like the retreat, the DP-a-thon. So bravo, Marissa. Thank you so much. It's going to be fun. What else? Oh, so I have news about Zach. So Zach is in 2nd grade. And so in 2nd grade, you have these, you know, at New Bloomfield Elementary anyway, you have these color charts for every day. So if you're like bad, they call it clipping down. You go to a lower color. And if you're extra good, you get to clip up or go to a better color. So I think red is the worst, and then it goes to orange, and then yellow, and then green. So everyone starts the day on green. And then if you're extra good and you clip up, you go up to blue. And then you go up to purple, and then you're on Wildcat. And then there's one more that's called ribbon. So Zach has gotten up to Wildcat a few times. But yesterday, Zachary got on ribbon. And it seems like such a silly thing, I know, but Zach has gotten red a couple times too. So we were so excited for him, and we asked him, okay, for your reward, what would you like? He could have said a Lego set. He could have said, I don't know, anything. The dude asked for gummy worms. He wanted gummy worms. All right, son. So we already had to go to Hobby Lobby anyway, so you're like, all right, we'll get you some gummy worms, buddy. I was so proud of him. It made me so happy. And, you know, I'm proud of him, of course, for doing good, but to see him that proud of himself, I loved that even more. He really was so proud. He came running home and he was like, Mom, you're gonna freak. And of course I was like, oh God, what'd you do? I was ready for, I punched some kid in the face or something. He said, I got on ribbon. And I was like, oh. I was so happy. But he was stoked. But I love seeing him do things that make himself proud. I'm always going to be proud of him. But making yourself proud at that age, I really think that that should not go unnoticed. You know, like that's a big deal. Because he's, you know, 8 years old. He's developing, you know, how he feels about himself, his self-esteem. So to see him make himself proud, I loved it. There we go. So the kids are doing great. You know, tonight is, tomorrow night is Nora's orientation. Nora is 4 years old. She will be 5 in April. And she'll be starting kindergarten. I can't wait. So tomorrow night is her kindergarten orientation. And then she's really stoked about it. She's like, I'm going to a new school with Zachy Poo. Really excited. I don't think if anything else happened. I think that's it for now. And I will get back on tomorrow. Tell you how, you know, the rest of tonight went. And anything new going on. And then I'm thinking I'm going to post this WIP and chat on Saturday, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You won't know about any of this until I post, so you'll know when I post it when I do. But thank you all for being here, and I'll be back in tomorrow for another entry. See ya. Hey everyone. So yesterday got a wee bit hectic. So today is Friday. And so yesterday we had Nora's orientation, and oh my gosh, she loved it. Literally after the orientation, she said, oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever. Those were her exact words. She is so stoked about going to kindergarten. And it was cool because, you know, we live in a small town, and I used to work in a bigger town, Jefferson City, and I knew, I worked with this girl there who actually, I guess, moved to New Bloomfield. So I'm pretty excited because, you know, this girl that I used to work with has a 4-year-old too. Where we worked, we were actually pregnant. You know, I was pregnant with Nora and she was pregnant with her daughter at the same time. So we already know each other and our kids are the same age. So I'm excited that, I don't know, she's going to have someone that I already know. Like, they could do sleepovers whenever because I already know her, you know? I'm excited for sleepovers. Nora, free time, hey. Just kidding, kind of. But I'm sure I will have to take my turn hosting the sleepovers too. Oh, that was off. But she is so stinking excited to go to kindergarten. Sorry about that. So, oh my gosh. And so we went to the orientation for kindergarten. And when you first get there, they ask the kid, they asked Nora, what's your name, Nora? Or what's your name, honey? And she said, my name's Nora. And they gave her this little name tag thing. And it was green. They had 3 different colors of these name tags to give to the kids. And Nora's was green. So then we had to go into, we got the name tag and then they gave us this big old folder for registration. This was just orientation, like, you know, introducing the kids to their new school. Hold on. So we got the folder and the name tag, and then we all had to go into the gymnasium. And that is where the principal like said, you know, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Here's what we got. And they have 3 different kindergarten teachers, and all 3 teachers were there. And this is just kindergarten orientation. There's not like, you know, other grades there, just kindergarten. And so they did their whole spiel. And then the principal says, okay, all of the green colored name tags, come with me. And there were 3 different colors, 3 different teachers. So each of the different color name tags had to go with, you know, whatever teacher was doing that color. And they just took all the kids. And I was like, oh my God, my baby. They're taking my baby. I wasn't prepared. They just took them. But really, they separated the kids with, you know, the colors, you know, to try to make it even. And they were going through a rotation. So the kids didn't know which teacher they were going to get yet. They did the colors and they started out in one classroom and then they rotated between the teachers so they could kind of meet all 3, which I think is cool because, you know, they're going to be familiar with all the kindergarten teachers instead of just, you know, whoever theirs is going to be. Plus, they get to hang out with different kids. But man, when they said, okay, you guys go with Miss whatever, I was like, oh my God, she's just going to go just like that? She's just going to walk away. And she was fine with it. She was like, okay, bye Mom, bye Dad. Like, this is a big deal, you know? And she's just like, bye, see ya. All right. And so then after they took the kids, the principal says, okay, you guys can go with Miss blah blah blah, whoever the counselor was, and you can go take a tour of the school, or you can hang back in the gymnasium. And you know, Kerwin and I, you know, we have 3 kids. We know where stuff is in the school. And I asked her, I was like, can I just go spy on my kid instead? She was like, no. Jeez, I birthed her. I should be able to spy on her. And of course, I'm just thinking in my head, like, what is she breaking right now? What is she going to break? Are they going to give her scissors? Please don't give my kid scissors. Don't give her scissors. Last time she had scissors, she took them to her hair. Don't give the kids, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking of all sorts of things. Like, I'm not liable for whatever destruction my child brings. Y'all took her at your own risk. I offered to go help. They said nope. Which, she ended up doing perfect. I mean, she was perfect. She's always perfect. Well, sometimes, but that's besides the point. So Kerwin and I, while they were, you know, Nora was still in the little classroom rotation bologna and cheese. Kerwin and I stayed in the gymnasium, and she was like, you know, if you guys have any questions, and there are a few parents, you know, that just been there, done that with that school, so we didn't need no tour. And, you know, I started to ask her how the 4-day school week is gonna work, which honestly just ticks me off, because this is next year, you know, Nora's first year of kindergarten is going to be the first school year thing, yeah, that they're doing the whole 4-day school week thing, which just really sucks for me, because the day that they won't have school during the week is a Monday. Like, I get why they're doing it, I do. But Nora's 4, I work from home, I take inbound calls all day long, so there can't be background sounds, you know? She's 4. She makes background sounds. I don't know. And so we talked about that, and she was just like, apparently they have this after school care thing, you know, and they're also going to offer all day on Mondays. Thanos! Sorry guys, Thanos was having a dream and he was whimpering. I had to put that to a stop right now. Can't let my boy have nightmares. You okay, buddy? You okay? Anyway. So this whole 4-day school week thing is just really annoying, because like they have that after school thing, you know, like when parents work late, you can have your kids stay, you know, an hour or so after school and you pick them up. So they're offering that full days on Mondays, but you gotta pay for them. It ain't cheap. And so here we are thinking, woohoo, Nora's starting daycare. Sweet, that gets rid of a $300 per week daycare bill. That's gonna be awesome. No, this little after school Monday care crap, that's gonna be like $60 for one day. Oh, it's just, I don't know. They said that it helps the school financially to go down a 4-day school week. Like, why? Because it's one less day to feed the kids? Like, I don't know. And they get out of school later now, which, I mean, I don't really care about. I just wish they wouldn't have gone down to the 4-day school week. It's just stressful, but it ain't my decision. All I can do is, you know, go with the flow, work with what I'm given. So that's what I'm doing. Whew. But she loved her orientation. She is very, very excited. The main thing I'm concerned about is, like, right now we're working on her adoption paperwork to go through, which if you guys haven't seen my previous WIP and chat, basically the story is when I was pregnant with Nora, her biological father didn't want anything to do with it, which I was okay with. Like I said before, I am okay that he didn't want anything to do with, you know, being her dad. I would have preferred that more than him being in her life, her growing to know him, and then he decide he doesn't want to be her dad. You don't want to be her dad from the get? I'm cool. I got this. Like, I don't need nobody else. I'm okay with that. Don't hurt my kid though, because I'll come after you. And that's just how it is. I will. Anyway. So right now on Nora's birth certificate, there's no father listed. I'm just listed, you know? But she's always, her entire life, she has known Kerwin, my husband, as her dad. And, you know, we've been getting along just peachy. But I talked to the principal. My main concern is, you know, in kindergarten, when they start learning how to read or, you know, write their names, they're going to call her Nora and my maiden name rather than Kohlmeyer, which is Kerwin's last name and my last name. So we're really trying to hustle and get that adoption to go through and get her name legally changed. We can't just go to the place to change her last name. We tried. We can't, because he is not her biological father. We have to go through the works, which I'm okay with. It's just a lot of freaking money. But, you know, she's worth it. This whole thing's worth it, because even if we did just get her last name changed, I need her to be with Kerwin if something happened to me. You know, hopefully nothing happens to me, but you just never know. I could go walk outside and a meteor come from the freaking sky and land right on my head. I don't know. Something could knock me out of this world, you know? You never know. And I want to know that if that happens, Nora will be with her dad. Who is Kerwin? No one else. That's it. It's really just a sore subject because we don't even think about it. Like he's just her dad. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it's kind of a sad subject, but hopefully we get our tax money soon and we can just pay to get all that to go through so it's just not, you know, weighing in on my brain all the time. But Nora's a really cool kid and we'll have the talk with her someday, just not right meow, not in kindergarten. Nope. But yeah, Nora is, she's got some, I have other kids, you know, and all my kids are special. Yeah. Nora's just the baby, you know, so she's just the one I have the most stories about that are fresh. Like there's this one story that still haunts my dreams. You ever have that moment with your children where, like, I don't know, you question your ability to be a parent? Like they do something so crazy, they almost kill themselves. And then you're like, holy shit, that just happened. And it like haunts your dreams forever. Like you wonder about your ability to be a parent. Yeah, that happened to me with Nora once. It was literally the scariest day of my life. It was. But I'll tell you. So it was when, oh gosh, how old was she? I think she had just turned 3. Right now she's 4, she'll be 5 in April. So I believe she just turned 3 when this happened. And just to paint a picture of how it happened, every morning, Kerwin and I wake up at 6 a.m. and we get the boys up and dressed, ready for school to get on the bus around 6:30. And then I don't have to be at work until, well, I don't think I did that this time until 8. And Kerwin just works on rental. So he kind of goes in whatever time he's needed to be in. So usually after we get the kids on the bus at 6:30, Kerwin and I will lay back down and snooze for a wee bit, just a little bit. So Nora had, yeah, she was, I still can't believe this happened. So Nora usually sleeps through all of the whole, you know, getting the boys up. She always sleeps in. Whenever Kerwin gets up, I work from home, so I'm usually working by the time Kerwin gets up to leave for work. So Nora sleeps through the whole thing. Whenever Kerwin's ready to get up and go to work, that's when he has to actually go in there and wake Nora up, get her ready, take her to school. It's always been like that. Until one morning, Kerwin woke up. He went into Nora's room, get her up, get her ready for school. And Nora was not there. She was not in her bed. He came in here. I was on the phones talking to customers and he said, Nora's not in her room. And I was like, what? Okay, we'll go look behind the couch. Maybe she's like being funny. Maybe she fell asleep somewhere else. We looked and looked. Nora was not in this house. So of course my head is like, oh my God, someone broke into our house and took my kid. I am going to get my axe and start killing people. I was freaking out. So then Kerwin thought, maybe she went outside to pet the cats. We have like 10 stray cats that come around. Maybe she, you know, is just on the front porch petting the cats. So he opens the front door. He sees Nora across the street. She was by our mailbox and we live out in the country on a state highway. Nora went and crossed the road. She crossed the road and was standing at the mailbox. And then there's this white truck pulled over like in front of her house by her mailbox. And we run out there in our jammies. We're like, Nora, oh my God, what are you doing across this? Just freaking out, hysterical. And this man in the white truck, he was just some little old man. He was like, you know, I was just driving by and I saw her walking across the street and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want her to get run over, so I just pulled over and, you know, just keeping an eye on her, trying to get her to go back inside. And I guess she had only been out there for like 5 minutes, but like, my God. And keep in mind too, we lock our doors. After the boys get on the bus, we lock the door and we have a deadbolt. We lock the deadbolt. We had never seen Nora unlock the deadbolt, ever. We just assumed she couldn't unlock the deadbolt. It's a heavy deadbolt, you know, it's not like one of those easy, you know, lightly turn and it's there. No, it's a heavy deadbolt. We found out that morning that Nora can unlock the deadbolt. And like, I was bawling my eyes out. Of course I kept thinking like, what if she didn't look both ways and she got ran over by a car? Like, that's a thing that could happen. It's a state highway. People drive down these country roads like they don't care. It's a windy road too. So they could just been like driving like maniacs and flipping around the corner. She's a tiny kid. They may not have saw her. She could have gotten ran over by a car and I would have never seen her again. I was just sick to my stomach. I couldn't let her go. I was hugging her and I was crying and, you know, yelling at her like, you can't do that. I was just like beside myself. And I told Kerwin, I was like, we've got to do something today or I won't be sleeping. Whew. I was just a wreck. Still even thinking about it. Like, I could have lost my kid that day. I really could have. I didn't, so I'm trying not to like get super worked up about it. Here, I'm gonna move this over here so you don't just look at my hand. But I'm trying not to get like super worked up because I didn't lose her. She did not get hit by a car. Nora's fine. But it most definitely could have happened. Whew, yeah, I'm getting worked up, sorry. Whew. So, you know, we all hugged and we talked and, you know, we're thankful that she was okay. And eventually, you know, he got her dressed and had to take her to school. I had to continue working. When Kerwin came home, he had bought another latch lock. So now our front door has the doorknob lock, it has a deadbolt, and it has another latch lock that goes on the very top of the door that Nora cannot reach, and it's really hard to move. And he wasn't messing around either. He was a nervous wreck too. So we were like, we're not gonna do nothing. Like, we couldn't do nothing, and that was like the perfect solution. So now we have latch locks on all of our doors. But if he hadn't done that, I wouldn't have slept. I would have got a blanket and a pillow and slept like in front of the front door. That was the scariest moment of motherhood for me. I still think about it to this day. She's just so damn independent. Like, she thinks she can do everything. She was honestly probably going out there to check the mail, you know? And, you know, that's what she said she was doing. She was trying to get the mail. And we have never taken her to get the mail with us. We do have to cross the street to check the mail. Never has she ever gone with us across the street. And of course, we preach to her, don't play in the road, stay out of the road. it's a state highway, guys. So like, you know, the windy roads, the speed limit's 55 to 60 miles an hour, and we live out in the country, so people are crazy out here, man. And I just think back, I could have lost her that day. I could have. But again, I didn't, so all we can do is learn from it, double lock the damn door, and just be thankful. I hear all these horror stories about mothers losing their children, crazy accidents, and it really breaks my heart. I can't imagine the pain of losing a child. And if you are watching this and you have had to endure the pain of losing a child, please know my heart goes out to you, and I'm so sorry. Coming to that close encounter just really gives you a perspective on life. Like, whenever you think your life is really bad or bad things happen to you, I don't know, you get your bank gets overdrawn, you have to pay some fee you can't afford, and you think life is really rough. If you have kids and they're in good health, your life isn't that bad. Losing a child, having a sick child, having to see them suffer for any reason, that's hard. Anything else is like, deal with it, you know. It might be rough, but don't complain. Don't act like your life is rough, because it's not. Losing a child, that's pain. That's real life pain. Whew. Anyway, so I'm just gonna kind of move on from that here. I'm gonna move this up real quick because I keep bumping it on accident, sorry. So sorry I had to go on that little tangent, but it was a Nora story, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So what happened today, now that I'm done with the crazy story? So today was actually my first Patreon live. So I'm up to, you know, thanks to my new like best friend ever, Beth, shine like a diamond. She is my 6th Patreon. And today the Patreon only VIP live was Intro to Polymer Clay. And I did a live for only patrons. And we talked about like the basics of polymer clay, tips and tricks, how to bake it and what you can make with it, you know, yada yada yada. And it was so cool. They had like, there weren't a lot of people in the live, because like at the time of my live I only had 5 patrons, and I think there were a steady 3 people in there. So it was a lot of me just talking, but the 3 people that were in there were amazing. They asked questions, they were involved in the conversation. It was just awesome. Like, I love them. There we go, let me try that view. But I am so glad I did Patreon. I'm just so glad. I know I'm not a large channel. I know, but I am growing. I actually have over 100 new subscribers in this month alone. This has been my best month as far as subscribers. So thank you all so much. You have no idea how good that makes me feel. And there was one comment, or one of the new subscribers that I got commented, I don't remember their name, but if it was you and you're watching this, comment below, because you know who you are. Sorry, I don't remember, I'm not looking at it, but they said something like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you should have your own TV show. I'm like, nuh-uh, you don't mean that. And she's just so cool, and she like went back and watched like some of my older videos and commented on those, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make you my friend. I don't know, it's just so cool. And like, I don't know, making this channel, you know, of course you hope to grow, And anyone that comes on here and says, you know, I'm not here to grow my channel, I'm not making videos to, you know, become a bigger YouTube channel, you know, bullshit. That's, like, don't come at me with that. Everyone wants to be a bigger channel. That's annoying to me, but I digress. I don't know, that's just, I want to grow my channel. Of course I do. And I don't know, this month alone, that what that person said, I'm like, hell yeah. I love it. What a good feeling. You know, you do what you love to do and you record it and you get to meet other people that are interested in what you're doing. Like, oh, hell yeah, I'm all in. I love it. So welcome to the channel, all you new folks. And I really have to say, you know, thanks to Shine. I had her on my Sunday social last weekend, and oh my God, I'm so glad I did. We talk every single day, like all day. We are so much alike, and it's so nice to have an outlet of somebody who is so relatable to me. I love her. I don't know how I lived 27 years of life without having her in it, but I had her on my live, and she's a bigger channel. Yeah, she is. You're doing good, Shine. But I think that, you know, kind of helped people learn about me. And I'm so thankful, because that's like the hardest part about growing. Making a name for yourself and spreading the word. I'm here. I play with clay and diamond paint and do craft stuff. So I'm here. Sorry, that was weird. But I'm really thankful for all of you guys. And I'm pretty sure this WIP and chat is already like pretty super freaking long. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and end it here. Just so you guys know, I don't remember if I said or not. This is my Victoria's Moon diamond painting. And it is almost done. It is. I only had this section left right here, and I bit the bullet, and instead I would probably like normally do, you know, a section like that big maybe, you know, so this would have been like a three section section. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to be done. So I'm just gonna work on this whole section. Like, this is a big section, y'all. That's a big section. But I mean, I've made a dent. Look at that. That's a dent, kind of. But I'm hoping I make more of a dent this weekend, but then I'll be done with it. It's been a long time coming, only because I do this while I work, because I work from home. I sit here at my desk, I take calls, and when there's time in between calls, I diamond paint. And that's really all the time I have to work on it, unless I'm filming these. But anyway, I am almost done with this, so I'm really excited. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned for Nora's story time. I'm gonna put that at the end here. But again, all you newcomers, thank you so much for, you know, being a part of this, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I go live every Sunday for my Sunday social talk show, and I do some kind of tutorial every Tuesday, usually with polymer clay, but I'm thinking about introducing some new things. If you have any ideas, put in the comments below. And if you're just watching this and you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We're growing! Alright, and this is where I will end it, y'all. Thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next one.
Start over. Tell your mom.
Once upon a time, there's a little girl, little cat, walking through the forest. And the cat was scared.
What?
And she pet the key and took her back to her house.
Okay.
And just walked by herself.
Oh.
And once she went to a trampoline, something happened.
What happened?
It was a monster.
What kind of monster?
It was a
You got me.
Now it's your turn.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was a mommy. And that mommy was walking down the street. And then she saw a little kitten. Meow. Hi, little kitten. Do you want to be my friend? Yes. Meow. Oh. So the mommy took the kitten home. And then when they were sleeping and cuddling, something big happened. The kitten grew into a monster.
Of what kind of monster?
A tiger monster!
That's my turn. Once upon a time, there's a little cat named Noelle. She was trying to find her friend, and she did. And it was a human.
Okay.
And named Nora. And named Mommy. And her mommy. Said, "Aw, little kitten on there." They walked through the forest.
Why is there always a forest in your stories?
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
And they found a house.
House? Okay.
And they walked around the street, and they stand still.
Wait, so are they in the house or are they on the street?
They're on the street.
Okay, I got it.
And they're standing on the street.
No way.
And somebody was driving by.
Something drove by?
It was a car.
A car on the street? That's crazy.
And it was a bad guy.
Was it a bank robber?
It was a shooter gun.
It was a shooter gun?
Yeah, that's the monster's name.
Oh, the monster's name is Shooter Gun. Got it. So what did the mom and the kid do?
And the cat.
Oh, sorry, the mom and the cat.
And Nora.
And Nora. Were you adding characters? That's okay. Keep going.
And they walked through the forest again.
Again in the forest? Oh my gosh, this forest is like second nature to them. Okay, go ahead.
They walked. They're almost home. And something disappeared behind them.
Something disappeared behind them?
In front of them.
Okay.
And it was so big. Like this.
But it disappeared.
Just appeared.
Oh, it just appeared.
Yes, and it was big.
What do you know about just appearing? Like,
Very tall.
Okay.
And they looked up. They said, "Oh, I'm a giant kangaroo with the long, toothy fingernails." And the kangaroo!
That was a crazy story. They were walking through the forest, and there was the robber gun, the shooter gun, and then they went back through the forest, and then there was a kangaroo. That's a lot of stuff happening in a story.
Okay, now it's your turn.